Gwendolyn,
Hi.
hello. Why can't I see you?
I don't know.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
How
There
about
you
now?
go. Much better, much better. Hello, hello.
Hi. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Good. Good.
Before we get started, I want to, we've been talking for about 20 minutes already, 30 minutes, 45 minutes already,
Yeah.
enjoying ourselves. But I want to share with those who may be tuning in that the Other Woman magazine is a magazine published 3 times a year by Candy Publishing. And it gives women a voice to be who they are. The magazine is all about being free to be, living the one life that you have without any regrets, without reservation, regrets. Let me read the mission. I love the mission. The mission of the Other Woman. It is my mission, says, to help you discover the silenced and often suppressed woman resting within and infuse a desire to live courageously without reservation or regrets. And Gwen, the reason that I asked you to come on is because you submitted an article titled My Confidence to Be in Our Debut Issue. But before we go there, why don't you introduce yourself and let people know a little bit about who you are? Who is Gwen?
I am, I'll be 51 on Sunday. I'm a mother of one daughter, grown daughter, and I have two grandchildren, the youngest being 7 weeks old. I've been,
Congratulations. He is
thank
a cutie pie. Both
you.
of them are.
Thank you. I love them. I've been in the medical field. I've been a nurse for 30 years.
Wow.
I um I write a little bit.
You
I
wrote a lot.
I,
You are a writer.
yes, and I thank you for giving me an opportunity, had given me a platform to expand on that. And I sing. I am I don't know, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, um
We,
auntie.
you know what I always say is that what we do does not define who we are.
Mm-mm,
What we do does not define who
does
we are.
not does not at
So
all.
when I am asked to introduce myself, I usually say I'm a mother. That was
Mhm.
like the greatest of all titles. If I had, I don't like titles, but if I had to pick one, it would be mother. But now that the boys are older and they don't need me as much, it's like, okay, I'm a writer. But being a writer does not define me. You've been a nurse for 30 years, that doesn't define you. But we
Right.
are woman beings just being. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I ask you to introduce yourself because that's how we're identified in society by what we
Mhm.
do. But
Yes.
long as we know that that is not defined,
So much,
long as
so
we
much
know.
more than that. I had a friend of
Yes.
mine years ago. He said, "You're so multifaceted." My
And
friend
you
Victor,
are.
he would tell me, he said, "You're so multifaceted." And believe it or not, Venda, that's back when I didn't know about the writing part of me. I didn't know about the woman
Mm.
that would, in her late 40s join a band and be singing in front of people, or doing
Wow.
stage plays. I didn't know her, had not been introduced to her yet. So you know
Wow. I like how you say that, haven't been introduced to her yet. And that's the
yeah.
whole thing behind the other woman. When I
Hmm.
say meet the other woman, there's a woman inside
Hmm.
all of us that has been
Absolutely.
silenced or suppressed. And when we unleash her, when we meet her and free her, amazing things happen. It's like
Absolutely.
new life, new
Absolutely.
birth. Have you found your other woman? Have you met her?
I've met a part of her. I've
Okay.
met a part of her, and I love the part that I've met thus far. And I think it just comes with life. It comes with life. It's a part of the journey, getting to know the other woman.
Yes.
You we go through different stages just as a butterfly does. You start out as a worm, and you got to get to a place to where you can even get in the cocoon to become the butterfly. So it's a
Right,
part of the journey. And the part that I have been able to meet, or that I've even taken, I can't say that I took the time intentionally. I was put in a situation where I couldn't go as much, and I had some still time, and the still time allowed God to speak to me about some things, and to break me free of some things that I thought I needed to be doing, places I thought I needed to go, people I thought I needed to be around in order
right,
to be who I am. He showed me that really and truly in this isolation, I'm going to show you what you're capable of. And just little snippets, he can't give you everything at one time.
right,
I think we would become overwhelmed with it. We wouldn't know what to do with it. But once you make that introduction to that other woman, she helps you to get the tools you need in order to learn the other parts of
right,
her.
right,
And
right.
I say her, but I mean you, you
Yes,
know.
and she is
Yeah.
something else. And I like how you said, I've met parts of her, some of
Yeah.
her, because actually I thought I met all of her, but like you said, life shows you and will invite her to reveal herself a
Mhm.
little bit more. She kind of like inches out as we
Yeah.
allow her to. But she's a
Mhm.
she's a beautiful thing. She's bold and risky, and I'm just loving her. And I think that's why we only get it in small doses. But
Absolutely.
you say in your article, My Confidence to Be, in the debut issue, you say, I remember a time when I wanted to love myself, when I wanted to love myself and not criticize myself so much. When was that time? How old were you when you wanted to love yourself more?
It had to have been, I think, wanting to love myself started, um, I would say, in high school. It started in high school because I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I was doing some things and entertaining some things that were not congruent to being a self-loving young lady. How about that? I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
love myself. I actually was looking for love,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because I just didn't know how to love me. I didn't know who I was. And so the wanting to started as early as then. Then I think after having my daughter at 23, I wanted to. There was a wanting that was greater than it was when I was in high school. And then um uh I would say my early 30s,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it started happening, because I had to change some things. I had to change the trajectory of where I was going. I wanted to love other people but could not love me. And
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work. The equation is just like doing algebra. You have to do certain things before you can do the next thing.
Right.
And so in order for you to truly love other people, you've got to somehow learn how to love yourself.
But you know what? I think I was loving, we use that word so freely.
Mhm.
I believe I was loving before I learned to love myself. But we don't know what love, if we don't know what loving ourselves is, you think you're showing love,
Yeah.
but like you
Right.
said, it's almost impossible to love someone
Mhm.
if you truly love yourself. But that's the thing, we don't know how to love
Right.
ourselves. So,
Right.
what was that turning point for you? Because I know even as a young woman myself, even well into my 20s, I had body image issues. I was always taller than everyone else, skinny, chapped lips, big feet, and you focus on all the things that you don't like. Little
Mhm.
did I know I was perceived as a beautiful woman with long legs, legs that I wish were a little bit short. You know what I'm saying? You don't know
Mhm.
these things. And it wasn't until living life and growing older that I realized, you know what, you are a beautiful woman. It's really not about how I look, but it was from the inside out. So, what
It
was
does.
your turning point?
My turning point was when I was trying to, and oh gosh, you're bringing up some good questions. I remember this time in my life where I wanted to. There was I had bought a wig. Let me just be honest. I had purchased. I went out with my bad self and bought a wig. And I said, "Oh, could this game changer?" Because up until this time, my hair was short, and
Um,
I wanted something different. I wanted to change my look because I wasn't okay with my look. Okay, and I bought that wig, and I took some pictures, and I looked at it myself, and I just told myself the truth. You look like something off the Planet of the Apes. That thing was sitting up. It just had this big hump in the top, and I'm like, this is not who you are. So why are you doing? And the thing was hot. I wasn't comfortable in it, and I said, I've got to do better by me. I've got to do better by me. So what am I going to do? And it was trying to make myself go along with whatever I was seeing,
yeah,
thinking that
yeah,
that's what I needed to be,
yeah.
when
We
really that was not the what I needed to hear. That wasn't the conversation that needed to be had with myself.
yeah, we
Um,
compare ourselves too. We compare
yeah,
ourselves to.
comparison is evil.
Yeah, yeah,
Comparison is evil, and especially though when your perception of yourself is a negative perception. People can
mhm,
tell you all day, Lavender, you are beautiful with long legs and all of this, but your perception, even
right.
hearing that information
That mean
somewhere
a
on
thing.
the inside of here, you
Doesn't
twist
mean a
it,
thing. Yes, yes.
you
I
know. So,
Mom used to always say, "Oh, you can wear anything. You can
mhm,
wear anything with your size and your height." But
mhm,
Lavender didn't feel that way at all, at
mhm,
all. So it's how we feel. Doesn't matter how many times, because you mentioned in your article that it wasn't that you weren't told that you were a beautiful young
mhm.
lady. You didn't feel that within yourselves,
It
and I
was
think
self.
that's a difficult thing for us as women is that we don't know how to be okay with ourselves. So, how do you even teach a woman that it's from the inside that you love yourself? It doesn't matter how long or short your legs are, it doesn't matter your skin color, your hair. You got to come to grips with who you are because that person in the mirror, you got to see that person every day, several times a day. But that's not your physical appearance, has very little to do with it. It's from the inside.
It's from the inside, but I think that even though the physical appearance has very little to do with it, that woman has to look at herself almost past the physical and
Yes.
speak to
Yeah.
herself. You need a mirror so you can actually see yourself, and you have to speak to yourself. You have
Yeah.
to speak life. You have to speak confidence to yourself and speak confidently to yourself and about yourself. Is
Right.
what you're saying about yourself that really and truly is what you're emitting to people around you. That you hear it all the time. You attract what you are. You attract what's
Yeah.
going on in the inside. So you have to speak confidently, loving, and encouragingly about yourself to yourself. And
Stop
that may
right
take some mirror time.
Stop right there. When you said you attract, I was thinking
Mhm.
that just this morning about the sun, how the
Mhm.
sun attracts people, the heat, the sun rays. We love to be out in the sun. Some of us will lay in the sun and you feel the warmth of the sun on your body. That's an energy
It
that
is.
sun has. It draws us.
Mhm.
We have an energy within us as women that draws
Mhm.
males that we don't
Mhm.
realize that it doesn't matter what's going on the outside. There's an energy, that feminism, that feminist energy, that womanhood that we were created with, it's just natural. It
Mhm.
oozes out of us. And I think that's the part of womanhood that we don't realize, that that energy is there.
It
But
is.
once we realize and accept that energy, but we got to be taught that. You know, look how old I am. And I just thought about that this, this morning.
Man,
But
let
if
me
the
tell you.
young girls, if the
But you
young
know,
girls knew,
yeah, and I think though, like you said earlier, my mom was an intricate part on how I feel about, well, no, not the negative part, but the goodness of it.
mm-hmm,
Some
mm-hmm,
reason growing up, she always said, I love your eyes. I love your legs, the way you wear heels. And I have short legs. You got long ones. I have short ones. But still, it was the way you walk, the way you know, your cheekbones, she did that. She spoke
mm-hmm,
that to me, she
mm-hmm,
spoke that to me. And then looking at her, I had a beautiful mother that I
mm-hmm.
looked up to. So it wasn't the lacking of that, it's what I was feeling on the inside that sometimes turned and gobbled that message up. So
Yeah,
I had to, who are you? Who are
yeah,
you?
yeah,
Who
yeah.
are you, man?
And
Yeah.
for the mothers, for the women who don't have those loving mothers, you
Mm-hmm.
know, just like I grew up with a family that my parents were always complimenting how tall you could be a model. And I'm thinking myself, ain't nobody trying to be no model. I don't even look like those models in your head. And I
Yeah.
remember watching a Miss Universe or Miss America pageant, and Daddy made us turn it off. He made me turn it off because he said, I don't want you comparing yourself. He says
Mm.
that doesn't identify beauty. And I didn't understand that until I got older. But it takes some life experiences for us to realize not to compare ourselves and to
Yeah.
accept ourselves. And you have another quote that I just love. You say, talking about you right a little bit,
Just a
find
bit.
yourself and love the self you find. Find yourself and love the self you find. The woman you find will lead you to a plethora of confidence that will take up residence.
She
And
will.
she will. She will. Now, do you remember the age you were when you found that woman, that self?
It was around the same time that I learned to say no to the things that I did not want in my life, that I no longer wanted in my life. Not saying that I had it all together and I never said yes to some things that I didn't want, okay? But that was the time I realized that after being divorced and being in a relationship that was just totally crazy,
Yeah.
from the divorce, um, prior to the divorce, really. Um, I was
Go
really
ahead,
just be
Valerie.
honest, but going through nonsensical things. But the moment I stood up and I said, "No, man, I don't want this anymore," and I didn't care. Let me tell you this: a lot of women put a comma right there. Pause. A lot of women think that they're not a woman if they don't have a man by their side or in their bed, on top, behind, beside them. Okay, you're still a woman. And I
Mhm.
don't care if you standing upside down twerking to the new Meg the Stallion music. He'll still, if he wants to, go and do what he wants to do. That's
Mhm.
not going to stop him from doing what he wants to do. And you're still a woman. It doesn't
Yes.
take away your
Yeah.
womanhood,
Yeah.
you know?
Well,
And so I had to
society,
be okay with letting it go.
society makes us feel like we have to be coupled.
Yes.
You know, we got to be the other half of somebody else's half to be whole.
Right.
But you really keyed in on something there, is that you're a woman regardless. Shoot, that man would not be here without a woman. He
True.
came from a woman, you know, and that's our power, is knowing, and not a power per se where you can be demanding and be over someone. It's just that power, that energy that we have to know who we are and the power of a woman. And that can be taken the wrong way or intimidating. for a lot of men, and a lot of women think that's a part of feminism, but it's not. It's just loving yourself as a woman, the
Mhm.
sensuous, soft flowers that we are. But that one important word, that love word, is what we have to learn how to love ourselves.
We really do.
Yeah,
And and not only that, learn how to love ourselves and to be able to emit that same love. You can be independent and you can pay all your bills and do all of that, but understanding that being feminine is a part of being a woman. You don't have to be hard and cutthroat and all of that. Now, I can say that there's been times in my life earlier, late 20s, early 30s, maybe, that I emitted more, I got this type of, energy out.
yeah,
But I've learned that the feminine part of being a woman is beautiful. That's the sensuous part. That's the sensual part. And it's okay to be that way. It doesn't mean that you're oversexed. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you understand and you're okay with being
hmm
your feminine,
hmm
sensual, womanly self.
And
Nothing
even if you grew up being a tomboy, that doesn't
wrong.
take away from that feminine part of you, because
Right.
that's a part of your womanhood. It's not
Exactly.
about being dainty, it's about being who you are and knowing the essence of your femininity, which
Exactly.
alone is what attracts men. That's that energy that
Mhm.
we can't cover up, we can't paint it, we can't put it on. It's already in us.
It's
It's
in you.
already in us. It's
It's
the
in you
most
whether
amazing thing.
it's in there whether you want, if you think it is or not. I
Right.
wore to school when in high school, I wore slacks and nice blouses and skirts and dresses and heels. Check this out. Until it was time for basketball practice. And I swear, my high tops and my shorts. And you couldn't listen. I hit many a balls over Fenton Little field. And I wore, I was a catcher. So I got dirt in my hair. I had on shin guards and I did all of that, and I'm still a woman.
Right.
Still that. Still
Right.
that. Gonna
One
always be that.
one thing about you, Gwen, and I get tickled, I get so tickled sometimes when you do your Facebook lives, not all of them, but you will get close up in the camera. Sometimes you'll have on your red lipstick. And I say to myself, sometimes you'll get there and you'll say, "Hey, y'all," you play with your hair. How y'all doing? I said, she is freaking feeling herself. That girl is feeling herself right now. I
Listen,
said,
and
what?
it's not in it. Well, listen, this is the thing. It's not anything that I do intentionally.
You're just naturally sensuous and sexy. You just tap into it all.
I just tap into it. I just tap into it. I
Are
just
you
tap
aware
into it.
that you do it though? Are you aware that you do that?
Not no.
Sometimes it almost seems to me, Gwen, that you know somebody is watching and you just really want to just tease him. Hey, how
Okay, so
y'all?
this is the deal. This is okay, so this is the real deal. This is the real deal. This is the thing. When you know what your assets are, you need
Yes,
to listen. I wouldn't have a car that I couldn't drive.
right.
So if I know what my assets are, if I like my assets that I have, and they happen to be my eyes, they happen to be, you know,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So if I have a nice smile, why not do that? If I like my lips, the shape of my lips, if I like that, why
right,
not? If I know
right.
that I can look a certain way, why not?
And you know
Why
what? We
not?
said that before we went live. We were talking about it. It's what are we going to wait until we get 90 years old if we live to there, or 80 years old, and realize that you got a nice body and you didn't, I
It
don't
would
want to
be a
say use
shame.
it, but you didn't embrace it. I am
It would be
so
a shame.
happy I wore my leather short skirts when I was young. I'm so happy that I came into knowing okay, I got long legs, instead of self feeling with low self-esteem and trying to hide my body, because I tried to hide my body all through high school. I just didn't like my body. But as I got older and I realized, it's like, okay, you got a little something there. Wear those skirts. What are you gonna
You
do? Wait till you're 90 and say, I didn't do it? You better do it now.
see, okay, so that example, what you just told us, here you are trying to hide, and there
Yeah.
I was. My dad is 6'3", long legs. My mama's short. She has short legs. I was wishing, and it wasn't too long ago. It wasn't too long ago that I wished I had long legs. God knew. God knew had I had long legs, I'd been at the blue flame. I'd have been at the blue flame, probably dead. I'd have been honoring me because I think I would have went out with the first AIDS wave. I would have been on the blanket on the White House lawn. You hear me? Had I had long legs.
Oh my goodness,
Back
because
before I
you used
started,
yours, honey.
before I had hip problems, I used to do splits and everything. I don't do all of that junk no more, and I jack myself up. You know. So here you are. I'm trying to hide my long legs. If I had some long legs, child, what?
And that goes to show we don't feel comfortable in our skin.
Mm,
And that's the
mm-mm.
whole reason for these broadcasts. And we got future more to come on helping women to embrace and love the skin that they are in. So
Yeah.
maybe if they hear it enough, because even some of the most beautiful women have body image issues, models have
Mhm.
body image issues. And it doesn't take a man to tell us that we're beautiful, but sometimes, like you said, your mother, somebody's got to say something or let you know. If you can't look in the mirror, be thankful that somebody pointed it out to you, because they
Mhm.
can see that you're not walking in confidence, and they can see, girl, you got some pretty eyes. Girl, stand up straight. You know,
Yeah,
you got beautiful hair, or
absolutely.
something. But I think
Mhm.
that's where we accessorize with the
Yeah.
whole um, everything. Like, you have beautiful eyes alone, Gwen.
Mhm.
Why do
But I
you
put on me
wear?
some lashes.
Why do you put on the
I'll
lashes?
throw some lashes on quick
Yeah,
because I look like, but that's amplifying an asset. You know what I'm saying?
but
It's
before they had
amplifying.
eyelashes,
I
before they
still had
came,
big pretty
you
eyes, you
still
know.
had big, pretty eyes. So, do you feel funny when you don't have them? Do you feel like something's missing when you don't put on your eyelashes?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you really?
Sometimes I do. It do you listen? Hey, you brought me on because I just keep it real.
Yes.
Sometimes I do. Then there are times when I just don't care. You know,
Yeah.
because it's me at the beginning and the end of the day, but you start doing, I think in life you start doing things to make yourself feel good, and then it becomes almost a crutch,
Yeah.
if I dare say,
Yeah.
because no one knows. And I wrote in the article, one of the things that a big hang up I have is my skin. I compare, I look at women, oh, I wish I had beautiful skin like that, or I wish. And so a part of my mask is the makeup, you know, however light or dramatic it is, the a less amount or a heavy amount, that's my crutch.
Hmm.
Now, this is just being transparent, being
Yeah.
very transparent. So, this is the thing. Every day is not going to be a magnanimous,
Right.
confident day. You're going to
Right.
have times to where you feel a little some type of way about
Yeah.
yourself, but you
Yeah.
can't keep saying those things to yourself before they become a part of the normal conversation that you have with yourself. You have to say, wait a minute, hold up, let me change this story. What
Hmm.
story are you telling yourself
Right.
about yourself?
Right.
Feel me? Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And today, oh, right before we went on live, I wasn't looking like this. I was not looking. And I can get real comfortable, honey. I was already working from home, but I will just be. I probably take it to the extreme to just be. But like you said, every day is not going to be a day where you
No,
feel like I'm confident, my confidence to
no.
be, because you do, you mentioned that in the article.
Mhm.
And one of our viewers, Sandy, says, Gwen, you show confidence, love of self, and I'm all right with me. Sometimes we must talk positively to ourselves. And you know, my sister, Deborah, she has these affirmation mirrors that are just perfect for young girls. But I'm thinking now, even older women probably need them because a lot of older women don't feel good about themselves when they look in the mirror, but they say, you know, I'm beautiful, confident. But sometimes repeating those things will definitely help change the way we process and look
It'll
at ourselves.
change the way we process and look at ourselves as well. I had a man to say this to me, a wise man. I consider him a wise man, and
Mhm.
just talking about life. And he said, if a woman is confident, she's going to make some confident decisions in life. This is when you start really looking at the choices and the decisions you're making for yourself in your life. Because if you continue to tolerate bull crap, then how much confidence do you have in yourself and how much worth do you think you have for yourself if you keep on taking things that really and truly you deserve better? So that's a part of the confidence algorithm as well. Making those decisions, some of them are going to be tough. There's
Yeah.
some people that you may not want to let go of, but in order for you to find out who you are, you got to.
But you know what? Even before you let go of those people, you've got to have some confidence in
You've
self.
got to.
You got to
You
feel good about
got to.
yourself. And a lot
You
of
got
that does come with age, unfortunately, because we can be young and dumb. I
mhm,
know a lot of young girls in their 20s, they will just, and that was a cause of the article, The Value of the Vagina, feeling that they're not good enough to be taken out to dinner unless they pay back by
mhm,
giving themselves. You
mhm,
know, you
mhm.
have to know, it's just so important for young girls to know that they don't owe anything. It's a privilege for a man to be in our company.
Mhm.
We shouldn't feel like just because they brought us a number three meal from someplace that you got to sleep with them. So you are really selling out for a happy meal or for a number two for a whopper when knowing the value of your vagina, you don't owe that man anything, nothing at all. But because of the lack of confidence in themselves and not knowing value, their own value and worth.
Well,
We power. We
a lot
give
of times you'll say to yourself, well, if I don't, somebody else will. Well, if you do, somebody else will.
yes.
I mean, you have to really see this stuff for what it is. If
Wow.
you're going to lay down with somebody, you better be bold enough and say, I laid down with you because I wanted to,
Because I wanted
not
to.
because I needed a number three.
Yes.
Not because
Yes.
I needed a number three, baby. I gave it to you because I wanted you to have it, and then you didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
So make it your choice. Make it your choice. And that is again, the other woman is all about your choices. It's your body. It's
Yes.
your body. When you know your value, when you know your worth, you make different decisions. And as I get older, I don't know what it is, but the confidence level, probably because I had so little confidence for so many years
Mhm.
and just felt like I didn't have control over my being. So now it's like, I'm taking back all those years, all that time, and I'm allowing Lavender to be who Lavender is, regardless of what other people say.
Lavender, I have a question for you. Have you, since your divorce, have you ever been in a situation to where, okay, I like this person and he's liking me, and but hey, you may have this strong physical attraction for him, and the best thing for you to do is say no, no matter how bad you want to just break down and give it up and do whatever you want to do as a grown person. Sometimes you have to let your no and show yourself that you can go past that point. I can say no, and I'm gonna ride this rough wave out because it's rough dealing with and fighting against your flesh, Your flesh wants to be pleased. And
Yes.
sometimes you have to break yourself down before
Yeah.
someone else tears you down.
Oh, yes, yes. I have to keep a no in my pocket. I
You
don't know
bet.
what it was. After I left my marriage, it seemed like I had a sign on my forehead that I was available. It was like coming out of the woodwork. I had an issue finding dates more when I was in high school and college than I have now. There's just not a shortage of men in my, I don't know what it is, but to answer your question, yes, I do. I do. And I think, okay, you're single, the vendor. You meet someone, the urge may be there. So what? You're going to sleep with everybody you go out with? So no, I don't. And it's been some years since I have been with anyone. So what were you telling me about your cobwebs when we were talking about? Was
Yes,
it
I mean,
real?
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? The car, listen, it's gonna take a doggone leaf blower to get that off. You hear me? You're gonna have to dust it off first.
But
It's
doesn't it
all
feel good that you are preserving it? Doesn't it feel good that you can be strong enough to
yeah,
say no?
yeah. Sometimes it feel good and other time it feel bad. Can we just be real? Sometimes it feels very good that I have the
Yeah,
power to say
yeah,
no and to
yeah,
stand on that no. But then other times it's like, you know,
yeah, yeah. You're
it's
right.
almost
And you
just
know
about
what? And
after
oh,
that, what happens? If once you do that, then it's gone. I
let's
mean, what?
go. A man in his 70s told me I was in a bookstore, and he said, once you give it away, there's nothing else that for you to give. Once you give yourself to a man, there is nothing else to give. And that's a man speaking, just sharing this information. So that's why the game changes after you have sex.
It
So they've
does.
conquered that and they're ready to move on. But when you know your value, we have the power. But that's that whole making a choice. If you're going to do it because you want to do it, not because you feel obligated
Not
to
because
do
you
it.
feel obligated, because
Yeah,
baby, the obligation really and truly, like I say, you can be an absolute pro at what you do.
right.
Okay. It's not going to stop another grown person from going out there and doing what they want to do. And like
I
I said, and I was being comical with it, but yeah, it does feel good. And then there are times when the headache and the longing just to want to be held. A lot of times it's not even about the intercourse, it's about the course of being there in this space with someone and sharing something that's intimate without breaking down the barrier. And that you get to that point, it's not all about being smashed.
yeah, you are so right. You're so
Not
right.
all about I said not all about not
And
all about
they say
it.
it's a chemical need. Something happens to the brain chemically if you are not having sex. But then again, you don't have to have another person to take care of that chemical.
No,
Women have to learn how to take care of yourself.
you
Uh,
don't have to have that, but it's the intimacy, the closeness that
yeah.
releases endorphins is
Oh,
actually
yeah.
it's chemicals that make you feel high
But
almost,
what
just
is a
from
woman
touch,
to do if she
conversation.
has no one in her life? What is a woman to do? You have to learn how to deal with that. If
You
you
better,
don't have any options,
you better.
so you won't die. But I said, okay, well, I don't want to wait until I'm too old. Because not only will I dry up, but they won't have nothing to work with if I get.
No elasticity, nothing. Doggone fan belt just done dry rotted. You hear me? I'm just
So
saying, you
use
better
it while
figure
you
it out.
can. Use it while you can. But even that is a part of embracing who we are and loving who we are. Is knowing your body from the inside out, knowing what makes it work, knowing what makes you turn on, knowing what you like. So we were having a conversation on wine. I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was Wine Down Wednesday or something. How can you expect a man to satisfy you if you don't know how you want to be
You
satisfied? If
can't.
you don't know
You
your
can't.
body, exactly.
The
You don't know.
majority of women, it's up there. It's in the 90%. Let's say 90% of women don't have orgasms vaginally. Okay.
Yeah.
Most women don't orgasm by vaginal
Right.
penetration. Okay.
Right.
So then
Right.
you're gonna have to know, well, if 90% don't, what what's going on? Well, you've got to know your own body, your anatomy, even to understand that the clitoris is sitting up there saying, I'm here for your pleasure. That's all God put me here for.
Right.
And I got 80,000 nerve endings that are there ready to be stimulated, but that all is a part of knowing your body. Some people just, you got women that they don't know. Some women have never had an orgasm, even in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They don't know what that is.
No, or afraid of their bodies to even try to find out what it is.
Right.
And that's part of being sensual and sexy. It's not wrong to feel that way.
No.
That's the way we are. That's how our bodies respond to
Right.
touch or to. But if we don't know how it responds, we'll never know. There was an article, and I forgot which issue it was, where a young lady, she was in her early 50s, she does not have orgasms vaginally. And so some friend of hers told her about Bob. Get a Bob,
Hmm.
that battery operated boyfriend. And then
Hmm.
she started experiencing orgasm because she took the time to find out what her body will respond to. So
Hmm.
she met a man, and the man could not satisfy her. He could not bring her to an orgasm, but Bob could. So instead of him letting his ego get in the way, and this is what she wrote in the article in the magazine, he invited Bob into the bedroom. He was like, I'm not going to fight with Bob or get upset with Bob. We need to let Bob join us because I can't compete with Bob. But that
Listen,
goes again, you got to know your body. Every woman does not respond or have orgasms vaginally, and it's not a bad thing.
it's
Feel-
not. It's the way it is. It's just the way it is. Okay. And this is the thing. They Bob battery operated, and now they have them that you don't even need the battery. So his name is turned into USB. You use a
Girl,
USB.
stop it. Girl,
I ain't lying.
stop.
I ain't
US,
lying. USB, honey. Call them Usain. I don't care what you call them. They got different ones now. You don't even need batteries. So there's not a reason for a woman not to experience that or have that. And if you're in a loving relationship and you want to please each other, you'll do what you need to do in order for each of you to be thoroughly satisfied.
satisfied. And one of our viewers says some young people are taught it's wrong to masturbate in their youth or it's wrong altogether.
Well,
But
if they are taught that. They are
yeah,
taught that, but
yeah.
they're gonna do it.
Unfortunately, they are. But
Yeah.
that's your body. This is the house that you live in. Just like you know every room in your house, you could probably walk through your house, your apartment, whatever, with your eyes closed because you know everything about it. Our
Mhm.
house here. Why would we not know everything? But hey, I was a grown woman before. I was not afraid to even check myself out. I was like, I ain't going down there. I don't want to know what's down there. All I know is that I was bleeding once a month. I sure don't want to go down there. Scary, but I was a grown woman. So it's you just got to get to that point where you feel comfortable with
Mhm.
yourself. Yes, and I think it was a movie, it was a show, was it called Goob, The Goob or something? Something on Netflix that I saw. It was a group of women and there was a retreat that they could go to and they learned how to bring that they learned about their bodies. They learned to look at themselves. They learned what would bring them to an orgasm. And these
Mhm.
were women who had not experienced that before. So it was a class. So I said, how wonderful is that to be able to have something like that available to women so we wouldn't walk around not knowing what was down there or afraid to look at it, to take a mirror and explore. But it was the other woman that helped me. I guess I got to the point where it's like, okay, I need the other woman to go meet Lavender.
Exactly. Talk to them, please.
Yes, go get her because that woman needs help. She's gonna be 80 years old before she let loose. And it feels so good that I have
What you telling?
allowed her to come out. It was like I what was I waiting for?
The wrong thing. But but giving yourself permission, giving
Giving
your
myself
giving, you have to give yourself
permission.
permission. And this is
Yeah.
not something, and so when you say give yourself permission, you have to stop waiting on permission from other people that don't know
Oh
your
God.
business. They
I
don't
know.
even know your business to know what it is that you're doing to help yourself be what you need to be and to get where you need to get.
Yeah.
You feel me? And
Yeah.
so, thankfully the man in that article was man enough to say, okay, this is not taken away from my manhood because I love you so much. I want you to have pleasure.
I
I want you to be
know.
satisfied. As a man, I'm not satisfied until you're satisfied. So let's do what
Yes.
we can do. Let's do what we
Yes.
can do in order to, you know, both of us be
And,
satisfied.
and he also encouraged men to get to know the woman's body. He said every woman's body is different. Every woman is not to be made love to the same way.
Oh,
Just because we have a hole does not mean that's the direction you go into. But most men are not going to take the time to get to know what turns you on, what you'll respond to. They go hole in one, straight for the hole, and think their job is done. But it's our job to make sure that we are
and it's
satisfied.
our job to have the conversation prior to getting in
And
there.
yes,
You
yes.
have to talk about these things. You have
But
to
you got
have
to get to know each other too.
you have to get to know each other.
So if it's
And
a one night stand, you can forget it. That's
you
sex
can
only.
forget it. You get what you get. It's like a Pop Tart then. You know what I'm saying? It's up for grabs what you gonna get. So you have to spend time getting to know a person in order to feel that comfortable and be
Yeah.
that vulnerable with them intimately and to get where you need to be. You may understand, listen, what if the other person is so intelligent and knowledgeable that he turns you on with what he has in his brain? You understand?
Oh my goodness. Stop
Because this
it.
don't know that if you get the mind, the body gonna follow,
Oh,
honey. The
stop
body
it.
will follow.
You know what? I hope to goodness that this person is not watching. But I recently met a man, and I promise you, I think he has watched every Wind Down Wednesday to get to know who I am because he has said all the right things. He knows that I'm sapiosexual.
Yes,
The
yes.
intellect will turn
Intelligence
me
turns
on.
you on.
Lord, this man, my goodness. I said, there's just no way. Daddy says if it's too good to be true,
It
it
is.
ain't.
But listen, just be able to keep your no in your pocket or whatever. But do understand this: a man that understands that, that's a
Yeah.
dangerous man. That's a dangerous man when he can get here.
Oh my
And
goodness.
listen, and men do understand. We're not saying get here with vulgarness. No, you
Right.
can be talking about the planets, how they
Right.
situated in the sky. Man, what?
Girl.
You hear me?
Read a
Love making
book.
starts way before we get home.
Let me see you read a book. Oh my goodness.
You
That is
better
like
not. You
eternal.
better not ever let me see you read a book. You better not ever. You better not ever teach me some math problems I didn't know. Good goobly woobly. What you talking about?
Oh my goodness. And
Baby, I get to flipping my hand and everything then. What you talking about? The truth needs
Oh,
to be told
God.
here today.
Oh,
So
my
there's a lot that so listen, so in the getting to know, and a lot of times we place a lot of it on the man, but really and truly it's the woman's part
goodness.
as well to get to
Exactly.
know the man and allow him to get to know who you are. It's the
Right.
conversations. If you start a conversation out in the beginning and it's filled with the sex talk, what else you gonna go back to talk about?
Where are you going after that?
You don't even want to know the genre of music I like or the type of music I like
Girl.
or my
Thank
favorite
you.
color or what have you. You don't want to know that. You
Girl.
want to know what's under the hood, so to speak. You
Yeah.
understand? But I've got something that's gonna make you feel better even than that. Because
Right.
you ain't gonna be able to stand it long, no way.
I
So
know.
let me talk to you. Let me romanticize you
Mhm.
outside of all of that. Get to
Mhm.
know you, and hopefully the person I'm getting to know I like, and we can grow from that.
Right.
I know
Right.
how to do it wrong. I'm more interested now in my life doing it right.
Oh, girl. Because you know what? Shoot, at my age, there's no other way to do it. I don't have time
I
to
just
wait.
don't
I
have
don't have
enough.
any
I
time to
got a
wait.
bad hip. I got a bad hip. It ain't no stop, drop, and pop it. It ain't none of that.
And
I
you
end
know
up in
what?
the hospital.
As
My hip
we
bad.
get older, sex becomes less important anyway. Not to everyone, but it's a person's intellect. What are you feeding your mind all day that if you got to think about sex all the time? What are you feeding yourself? What are you watching? What are you reading? Someone says that attraction for many women starts with his brain.
It does.
It does.
It has,
Well, I don't know if it be many women because a lot of us is it's all on attraction. It might be the
it is.
body. It might be the muscles. You know, some women don't care if you can read or write. You know, just have a body and satisfy me. But the intellectual women,
For
we
me.
want to be fed.
Yeah, I want that part.
I
We can
want
have
that also.
conversation, and I'm
Oh,
gonna start
girl,
winking at you probably.
all day, all day. Okay, we ain't supposed to be talking about this, Gwen.
Where you from? I'm just playing. So yeah, it's all about, have the confidence to become more knowledgeable about what it is that you need in your life and the woman who you are. Not be afraid of being that woman. All too many times we're waiting on the validation and the acceptance of other people, and that's just not where it's at, you
Yeah.
know?
And you even say in your article, you say, I love my voice, the
Yes,
tone of it.
I
I love
do.
the small dimples strategically placed around my mouth and
Yes,
chin that let their presence be known when I speak or chew. I
yep,
love the shape of my eyes, the brown
yep.
color of them. I love my hands, even the knuckle on my left index finger that seems to be a little rough because it's mine. I love my creativity and my ability to make up a song on a whim. I love that I am a fighter. I love the fact that I love people with a non judgmental stance. You know, I
Yes,
keep thinking about Deborah's, my sister's um, affirmation mirrors. If you keep saying those things to yourself, I think the first thing is to be able to list those things. If we can list three things that we love about ourselves and to be able to say that. Now, I don't know if I would be bold enough to just write it and publicize it like you did. You was like, okay, this is going to be published. Women all over the world going to read this. I love this. I love that. But that's who you are. You got there. And that's what other women need to see. It's like, okay, well, if she can do it, I can do it too. So, who's somebody be brave enough to write down three things that you like about yourself, and I'm going to um, say them out loud. If you can be brave enough to put in the comment section three things that you like about yourself. Deborah, you're saying intellect and humor. I guess that's what she's saying that she likes in a man. Intellect. Oh yeah, make me laugh now. I gotta laugh.
honey.
Oh, she said her three. Somebody wrote their three. Guess what they put, girl?
But
Me,
come on.
me, me, and me.
There you go.
I know. Me,
But
me.
then, but I want that person that wrote me, me, and me. I want you to I want you to take it a step further. I want you to break it down. What about you? What about you? Those three me's, I need you to put one thing beside each one of them that you like, a specific thing. Okay?
Okay, here's
A
another
specific
one.
thing. Just break it down.
She says, this is another one. My eyes, my nose, and her nailless pinky toe.
My
So, Sandy Wynn, you have a pinky toe without
that
a nail. My eyes,
what
my
about
nose.
your personality? What about your personality and your character that you like?
Well, this one that I just read, I've known her for many, many years. We
Mm-hmm.
actually homeschooled our children
Mm-hmm.
together. She has always been a pretty woman to
Mm-hmm.
me, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she has the kind of, I don't know if she knows she's pretty.
Mm.
Sometimes we don't show it or act like it, but we could have it. I mean, she was quick to name her three things. So, but
There-
then again, that was many years ago. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, life will
Life
bring us
will bring things
around full circle and help us to accept and love who we are. So, Miss Gary Winborn says intellect, humor, and kindness.
true.
Okay. So those are her three things. And no, my girlfriend, she says, no, I don't. Still doesn't have the confidence. Still doesn't think that she's pretty. That's what I was saying.
But and you know what? Listen, but the pretty part, that the outward part is not necessarily what makes you confident.
Yeah. And
That's
what
not
is
you
pretty?
have you have beautiful people that are not confident.
Yeah.
Okay? They're not
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah.
So it's not about the aesthetics, it's more about um what are you displaying from the inside out?
Yeah.
That's what makes
And
you
that's what
pretty.
makes you pretty.
That's what makes
Exactly.
you pretty.
So even not knowing or thinking it is
Yeah,
probably a plus because you're not
yeah,
so overconfident about it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is
So
true.
it's all about, and listen, beauty is in the eye of the beholder anyway. You
It
you know,
is.
so don't get it twisted, but it's more so about what is coming from the outside and being projected, the
Right.
inside and being projected outwardly. So
Yeah.
that's what the key is, because you've got some aesthetically beautiful people. Okay, there's
Yeah.
symmetrical. I mean, a plastic surgeon would see no wrong with them physically, but
I know.
they're
He
ugly on the
says
inside.
my insides make me drop dead gorgeous.
Come on now. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Oh
talking about.
gosh. You know what, Gwen? It is 8 o'clock already. It is
Can
8 o'clock already.
you
So
believe?
we have to come back. We have to
Okay,
come back with further discussion. You're gonna come back with me, right?
I will.
Okay,
I
because
will.
I got to get ready for my wind down Wednesday. But this was wonderful, wonderful. So we're going to
Enjoy
talk about the next time that we're going to come on. And
Okay.
you all, the upcoming issue of the Other Woman magazine, it is on schedule to be out the end of this month. And I'm looking forward to it. It's about coming out. So this is, our conversations are all about coming out also. Coming
Okay.
out into who you are, coming out to love yourself, coming out to try something different in life, coming out to allow the other women to come out. So
Okay.
anyway, thank you guys for joining us.
I've
Thank you,
enjoyed it.
Sandy Winborn. Thank you, Sandy Wynn. Thank you, Deborah, and everybody else. Thank you, Mama. I heard you over there, Mama. Thank you. Okay. All right. You guys have a good night, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thank you. Bye.